the most evil organizations in the world today are the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. And my book, Super Imperialism, that I wrote in 1972, is all about that.
Hello and welcome, my people. This is See Africa TV, where we tell the truth that others fear to say. Today, we're asking one powerful question. Who really controls Africa's economy? Is it our presidents, or is it people sitting in glass towers in Washington?
So many countries, therefore, find themselves in a situation through the advisory services of IMF and World Bank and other institutions where they can no longer afford to service their debt. They have borrowed domestically, they cannot service the debts. They have borrowed from these multilateral institutions which they claim to be members of, and they are not in control. They have borrowed bilaterally from other institutions because there is multilateral borrowing and there is bilateral. You'll find a country has gone to China, has gone to Turkey, has gone to the United States, has gone to the European Union or individual countries such as Italy and the United Kingdom, and they have borrowed. So you find yourself in a situation where the ability to run your country is reduced.
Nigeria just repaid a $3.4 billion IMF loan. But was it a triumph or just another chain unlocked, only to fasten a tighter one? And across the continent, 10 African countries owe billions to the IMF. Behind every dollar of debt are real consequences: fuel price hikes, food shortages, and broken schools. Stick with us till the end. What you'll hear today may shock you and wake you up. I'm your host on See Africa TV, and today we're diving into a story built from deep research, on-the-ground suffering, and the bold voices of experts, from Nigeria to Ghana, from Cairo to Lilongwe. This report was inspired by statements from African financial experts, a revealing quote from Moussa Ibrahim, and shocking insights from economist Michael Hudson, the man who literally wrote the book Super Imperialism. And we're pairing that with new data from the IMF's official website on Africa's top debtor countries as of June 2025. In May 2025, Nigeria completed repayment of a $3.4 billion loan borrowed from the IMF in 2020 during the COVID-19 crisis. The repayment, which began in 2023, was structured in 6 quarterly installments. The last dollar was paid on April 30th, 2025. According to the government, this is a major achievement.
In what could be termed a case of financial restructuring, President Bola Tinubu has cleared Nigeria's legacy debt at the International Monetary Fund, IMF. And Nigeria, we can tell you, has exited the list of countries that are indebted to the IMF. The next step would be to build on this relieving news, Adewale.
I think no matter what we say about the current regime, for me, I think this is a landmark. For me, it was shocking to me. I never knew that we could clear up the debts in just 2 years. Because the last tranche was about $1.61 billion.
Billion dollars, yeah.
And as at Wednesday, May 05, Nigeria came clean. Out of about 90 countries that has the biggest debtors.
Yeah.
Nigeria exited that zone. I think this is a hoop minus. By July 2024, it was $472 billion dollars.
Yeah.
So to be able to pay back, and also to have paid back the money we got, funds received, on COVID-19, the rapid financial investment, I think this is quite remarkable. And they be using sometimes 90% of our earnings to service debts. So it means we are going to plug back the country's resources into meeting social and economic obligations.
But analysts like Moussa Ibrahim are urging us to look deeper. Yes, Nigeria has repaid the IMF, but the loan came with conditions: fuel subsidy removal, currency devaluation, and foreign control of economic levers. These hit the people hardest. These policies led to mass protests, skyrocketing fuel prices, and a weakened naira.
Nigeria just finished.
Worse still, while the principal loan has been repaid, Nigeria will still pay $30 million annually in service fees until 2029. So the question remains, have we bought freedom, or are we just renting it?
Newsflash. Nigeria just paid off a $3.4 billion loan to the IMF ahead of schedule. If you don't know why that matters, then listen close. The IMF isn't just a lender. It's a gatekeeper. When African countries hit crisis, pandemic, inflation, war, the IMF steps in with support. But the price is high. Cut your spending, privatize your services, shrink your government. Oh, and pay us back with interest, please. It's a chokehold because those cuts hit schools, hospitals, fuel, food, the very things that keep people alive. Right now, the African countries owe the IMF a sum of around $23 billion. And when you're paying that back, you're not building roads. You're not investing in people. You're just servicing debt. That's how poverty gets recycled. So when Nigeria says, we paid you, we're done. That's not small news. That's a break in the pattern. Now, look, listen. Hear me out. This doesn't mean that Nigeria's economy is fixed. Inflation is still high. People are still feeling it. And yes, Nigeria still owes money elsewhere. But this loan from this lender paid early, that matters. It's a repositioning. It shows some fiscal discipline, maybe even a smarter long game. Because in business and in politics, paying off debt isn't just financial. It's reputational. You clear the balance sheet to strengthen your bargaining power. So now that Nigeria's cleared this IMF debt, can it clear its name?
Let's now take a broader look at the continent. According to the IMF's latest figures, these are the top 10 African countries with the highest IMF debts of 2025. Number 1, Egypt, $9.2 billion. Number 2, Kenya, $5.7 billion. Number 3, Angola, $4.8 billion. Number 4, Ghana, Ethiopia, $3.9 billion. Number 6, South Africa, $3.6 billion. Number 7, Morocco, $3.1 billion. Number 8, Malawi, $2.7 billion. Number 9, Tunisia, $2.5 billion. Number 10, Zambia, $2.3 billion. Many of these countries are in economic distress, facing currency crises, food shortages, and political instability. Even Ghana, with an ongoing IMF program, has had to make painful cuts that sparked public anger. Let's not forget what Michael Hudson, author of Super Imperialism, said. The most evil organizations today are the IMF and World Bank. They force countries to owe in dollars, control their central banks, and strip them of economic freedom. It's financial colonization. He even revealed that the U.S. military and CIA used his book as a manual to maintain economic dominance over the global South. This is not fiction. It's financial warfare happening in Africa right now.
Their foreign debt in dollars means that they have to somehow sell something that the United States wants, not what they want. I think the most evil organizations in the world today are the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. And my book, Super Imperialism, that I wrote in 1972, is all about that. The largest purchasers of the book were the Defense Department and the CIA. I was immediately, the organization I worked for was given a $75,000, $85,000 Defense Department contract for me to come to explain to them how American imperialism worked, and they used it as a how to do it book. They thought it was just spontaneous. And I had written the book thinking that socialists in third world countries would do something about it, and indeed it was translated into Spanish and other languages. But it was really the Defense Department that applied most of this, and I was amazed when I was invited to the White House to explain how imperialism worked. And my boss said, "We've run rings around the British imperialists. This is how to do it. You make them owe the debts in your currency, not their own. You control their central bank and make them financially dependent on you, and then you've got a stranglehold for them." So certainly the third world countries should cancel the debts under the odious debt principle. I haven't been able to convince any of them to do it because they said if we do that, the CIA will kill us. So how do you break that cycle? That's a problem I've not been able to solve.
IMF loans are supposed to stabilize economies. But how can we call it stabilization when schools are underfunded, Food is unaffordable. Leaders can't govern freely without foreign approval. This is not just about money. It's about sovereignty, human dignity, the future of Africa. African countries must now ask, is it time to say no to new loans that come with old chains? Should we unite to build independent financial systems through BRICS, Afreximbank, or regional currency unions? Or will we continue to wear invisible shackles, smiling in suits while the poor cry in silence? If this message moved you, don't stay silent. Subscribe to See Africa TV. Drop your comments below. What's your country's experience with the IMF? Share this video. Let the truth go viral. This video is for educational and public awareness purposes only. The opinions expressed are based on publicly available reports, economic analysis, and expert interviews. We encourage viewers to do further research and form independent conclusions.